Since 1980, the drug trade has been growing significantly in the Mekong region, making it one of the biggest crime challenges that Southeast Asia faces. Despite measures taken by ASEAN and the surrounding Asian countries, its current approach to securitization has failed to resolve the Mekong drug problem. The region surrounding the Mekong River, known as the Golden Triangle, is one of the largest areas of production of drugs in the world. Myanmar is the second largest global production centre of opium after Afghanistan. The country produces an estimated 762 tonnes of opium and 76 tonnes of heroin, as well as amphetamine-type substances that appeal to the more affluent urban classes in East Asia. The growing problem of drug production and consumption has led to an increase in many social problems such as AIDS, HIV, human trafficking and organised crime. In Myanmar, families involved in cultivating opium earn on average $310 more than those in crop production, providing an incentive to families to produce opium. But even with this small incentive, it traps the population in desperate poverty. Secessionist groups in Myanmar, such as the Wa State Army, control a significant amount of the drug production area. The state's weak rule of law has led to compromise agreement with drug gangs, which creates increased corruption in favour of the gangs. The Mekong River is an ideal vessel for the transportation of goods. The drug route itself begins in Myanmar, then travels to Thailand, China, the rest of Southeast Asia and beyond. The lack of state supervision in the river basin makes it an easy option for drug smugglers to use the jungle and remote areas as the prime regions of distribution. Narcotics are often headed for transport centres such as the Ziangkok port on the Lao-Myanmar border. Ralph Emmers said drug trafficking is probably the largest international crime problem in the world. ASEAN has been determined to tackle the problem on a transnational level. In 2000, ASEAN set a target to completely eradicate the presence of drugs in the region by 2015. It has not achieved this goal since consumption and production of drugs has increased. The response of ASEAN to this issue was expressed through separate bilateral agreements between different states, such as border control, policing agreements between China, Myanmar and Laos, social support for addicts, and educational programs. ASEAN aims to respect sovereignty of nations and non-intervention, but this approach is far too soft in dealing with the problems of drug crime. These agreements are examples of speech acts, which are a key part of securitization theory.
Securitization is a relatively new way to theorize problems of international security as they have emerged in the post-Cold War period, and in particular in the post-9/11 period.
Thailand is one of the largest destinations for the Mekong drug trade due to its large urban population and foreign tourist industry. The government declared a war on drugs in 2003. The campaign was restarted in 2008 due to a rise in drug consumption, which is still on the increase. Traditional securitization approaches have failed to resolve the problems of drug crime. The Mekong's transnational features, difficult terrain and transportation use is ideal for the production, distribution and consumption of drugs. The constraints of ASEAN and the endemic corruption within states fails to produce an adequate response to the narcotic industry challenges that the river creates. If the problem of drug crime on the Mekong River is to be resolved, ASEAN and the surrounding states are required to reduce corruption by reforming the security system, increase the resources for civilian governments to police the river, develop new incentives for producers to sell non-drug produce, create less multilateral and bilateral agreements from ASEAN and more universal action, move past ASEAN's anti-intervention policy. The Mekong region should be widely open to tourism, trade and other industries so that the river can become a sustainable source of income for the countries of ASEAN. The river can provide a solution to the challenges of drug crime.